Dangerous Dawgs Show live! Hosted by Dangerous Dog and Doug the Rock Dog! Who let the dogs out?
Hi, I'm Doug the Rock Dog from the Dangerous Dog Show. Unfortunately, Dangerous Doug is a little under the weather, so hopefully he'll catch us on another round. I'd like to introduce Seth SALOIS. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
That's good, man. That's good. I appreciate it.
Let's take us back to the beginning. What made you decide to do music? Take us all the way from the start.
All right. So, I mean, growing up, I had music around a lot in my household. My mom she played records so loud it would, rattle the windows kind of stuff. So it was always around. It was always playing. I've told the story a few times. But my grandfather was in World War II, and he was actually deaf in both ears and had hearing aids, but used to play the organ by the vibration. And would play it right after dinner. My grandfather was kind of the cook in the house. And I remember sitting, next to him on the stool. I was playing the organ. And so music was always around. It was kind of like, as people say, the soundtrack of things that are happening in my life. And, as I get older and got into high school and stuff like that, that was really during the time period of when a lot of the grunge movement came in. So, your Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and, bands like that. But my first concert was Elton John. I grew up on Elton John and Queen and, Bad Company, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin. I mean, you name it, all the good stuff. So it was always a big piece of my life. And then when I got into actually the end of high school, I was really big into sports, and I ended up getting like really severe asthma. So I had to quit playing some sports, and someone just handed me a bass guitar, no amp, just plugging away. And I just kind of got the bug. And then when I went to college, my roommates always says probably hated me so much, but all self-taught in terms of vocals and guitar and stuff like that. And I went and did one night. I did an open mic at my school, and the place was absolutely packed. And I did a U2 song, With or Without You. It was just me, bass solo, and singing. I never sang it to a mic before, and I was probably terrible, but the place went nuts, and it was like a really cool thing. And it was, you kind of get that proverbial drug. And from there I was hooked. And I was always into writing, whether it was poetry or stories or things like that. So writing lyrics and things like that kind of came, I don't want to say it came easy to me, but it's something I really enjoyed. So I put a lot of time into it. And then, got some guys together in school, started doing the cover stuff, and I was writing at the time, and just one thing led to another, and off it went on quite a journey for over 20 years of doing a lot of pretty amazing stuff. I know we were talking a little bit earlier before we started, but I had a band for 23 years called Cycle, and different iterations of us. But we did some really cool stuff, wrote some really great songs, met some really great people, and had some really good memories and stuff. And I knew I had a lot of music left in me, so that's when I kind of went down this road of doing solo for the first time, which was absolutely terrifying. I'm a band guy, like that collaboration. But I think the producer that I work with, Chris Paquette, Chris recorded the last 2 albums I did with the band, and we became really close friends. We kind of shared that same mind, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in the studio. And him and I just kind of creating off these demos I had, and it created this EP that people have been listening to. And, it's definitely going to continue, with no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine going from a band to an artist, just how nerve-wracking that would be. I mean, you're so used to, more than just one person throwing ideas back and forth. Yeah. And you're used to, you got others that's backing you up and stuff when you're on stage. And, and then all of a sudden, the whole spotlight's just on you, and you're like...
And it's funny too, because I'm used to having that as a front man. Just that kind of comes with the game. But to me, I never liked the ego thing. I've always been a fan of the people that I played with. And to me, it's weird when you're just singular. And even in pictures and stuff for this project, it was weird. I'm almost like, I need other people around me, because it needs to be a group, and that chemistry and that excitement when, one idea leads to the next idea from another person and all that kind of stuff. So, I just got it in a different way in the studio, and I'm excited, I've been talking with and setting up some guys to go out and put this project together live that I'm really excited about. So I'm excited about that, and I hope it leads to the point where we start writing together. But for now and going forward with Chris and I, working on stuff together, the response has been really great, and I look forward to people hearing even more stuff we're doing.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear the fifth one. We're going to talk about the first four here in a moment, but first up,
my favorite. It might be my favorite on the EP, but we'll see.
Well, here I just learned that you're the vocalist, and I'm like, oh my God, you're the vocalist.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm that guy.
All right, so tell me the story about you and who's that, Chris?
Yes.
Yes, you and Chris. How do you create the song?
So it's interesting. So the rule that we follow in the studio, we always say the only ego in the room is the song. So this isn't about serving anything else but what makes the song better. So I had a bunch of demos that I wrote just literally on my phone, acoustic vocals, had kind of the structure of some things down. And, when the band kind of, went away and kind of disbanded, I kind of wasn't even doing music at the time, took some time off. And I had some friends that were like, dude, I know you got more music and you do something with it. So I reached out to Chris and said, hey man, I got some demos. Let me send them to you. See what you think. I sent it to him and he got right back to me. He's like, you got to get your ass in here. We got to do these songs. So we went in and we just took one at a time. And the first song that we did was the first song that came out, Failed Storm Drain. And that was literally just acoustic strumming and vocals. And him and I sat down together and just, I'd come down with ideas, or I'd have melodies kind of written down, or I could sing kind of things. And Chris would play the guitar on it. And then we would come up different stuff and make sure that things made sense. It had flow. It was really pushing the vocals, the lyrics, the melody. The melody to me is the most important part. And we just took each song as a singular thing. And what I wanted is I had like a punch list of like, these are the things I've always wanted to do in songs. And we have no handcuffs here. Let's just do them. Let's see how it sounds. If you don't record it, if you don't try it, you don't know if it sounds good. So let's just try everything. And if it doesn't fit, then we don't add it. But at least we try it and see what it sounds like. And, and that goes down to harmonies and every other thing that we tried. So it was really, it was just kind of an open canvas for these songs, which was amazing.
Wow. All right. You already started for the next question. We're going right into Failed Storm Drain.
Yes.
And now that I know the vocalist is you, in my opinion, you're the spotlight of the song, not the rhythm itself, but the vocalist. You straight up, you brought it. You caught my attention. Just please tell us more about the song and the lyrics. What's your story that created Failed Storm Drain?
So one thing I try to do when I write is I try not to be very literal. And I think for me, people listening to it, I want to kind of present something where people can kind of take it for how it makes them feel. But for me, writing the song, some of these songs, and we'll get into them, I wrote 20 years ago and it brought them forth. But Storm Drain was maybe 5 years old. And it was really in that time where there was a lot of separation for all of us, whether it was race, religion, ideas, politics, all those kind of things. And to me, it was like, we're always at our best when we're together and we're kind of walking the same path. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you look like, all those different things. It's like, if we're good to each other and we're good to other people, it's what really matters. And the Failed Storm Drain is really about that. The people who aren't willing to do that, who kind of will end up getting washed away because they're just not strong enough to be a part of that collective that's so important. And I think to me, it was really always important. And I've worked my day job, I've worked in behavioral health, substance abuse, mental health, things like that for a long time. And you're always at your best when there's more, and you feel supported and you don't feel alone, or you don't feel those kind of things. So the Failed Storm Drain was really about not getting swept away and all those things that try to separate us instead of kind of holding on to each other and moving forward with stuff. And that was really the kind of the mindset for that song.
Well, see, this is what I like. Your music is deep. There's a deep meaning behind each one. So I'm so excited to hear about the rest of the songs.
Yeah, there's a lot of time and thought, and I think, growing up on the music that I did, people had something to say in the 60s and 70s, and even in the 90s. There was a lot to say, and I think a lot of people gravitated towards those songs, especially for me in the 90s when, that whole, the grunge area or whatever people want to call it came in. It made you sit down and read those liner notes and what are they saying? Do I feel this way too? So
Right.
to me it was important. Like there was this funny video clip that I saw of Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge and when they were doing the Blackbird album, and he said, you know what? If the stuff you're writing, if you don't believe in it, the audience is going to know it immediately. So
Hmm.
you better believe in what you're saying, and it has to have depth, it has to have meaning. And I've always really tried to kind of follow that premise with it.
Right on. All right, so let's move into Faithless. Is this about the loss of believing in a higher power or the emptiness of not believing in yourself? See, I was kind of in a
Mm.
crosshair. I'm not sure if it was maybe I lost myself and I don't believe in myself, or did I not lose who I, you know, I believe in God. I'm a Christian, but I don't want
Yeah.
to push that here. I just
Yeah.
everybody believes in whoever they want to believe in, and that's up on them. But I'm just trying to figure out what exactly is faithless.
So it's interesting. So that's the song that I wrote 20 years ago.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about that song is it's really about a singular conversation I had with another person. And it's really about the acceptance that people should people should feel comfortable in believing what they believe. It makes their life better. And
Oh,
it was kind of a conversation of, yes, you might believe in God and you go to church and that's good for you, but maybe I believe in God or I believe in the spirituality of that, but I don't
hmm,
have to go to church to be able to have a conversation with that. So
exactly.
there was a lot of that friction of it has to be this way, but it doesn't have to be this way. And it was
Hmm.
really a singular conversation. So when you go into the lyrics, right, it's really like, can you save me from my soul? It's like, well, he can, but it's really in the way that matters to you. It's what you believe, and it's okay as long as it makes your life better and doesn't infringe on other people. I think it's a beautiful thing to have that support, and I think everybody needs that, but they need it in their own way. And I've seen,
Yeah.
especially in the job that I do, I've seen way too many times we get into this kind of like umbrella thing where it's like, well, it worked for those 5 people, so it's got to work for you. And it's like, well,
No.
everyone should be treated as an individual.
Yeah.
So Faithless was really about identifying that if you and I are in a situation, it might affect you spiritually or religiously in a way. We talk about this August sky is one of the lyrics in that, and it's like, well, it reminded me of my faith in other things rather than you might look at it and being like, it's a sign from God or it's a sign from this. It's just kind of it's two sides to a coin, and neither one is wrong, but it really kind of stemmed from it was a very heated conversation.
Wow.
But I think
Yeah.
it brought along, I think, hopefully people feeling that it's okay for them to feel the way that they do.
Right on. Yeah. I'm noticing a theme on each song. Each song is a very powerful story and a lesson here. I like this so far.
And I trust me, it's not a preachy thing. I think for me, I just have an appreciation for people who can accomplish so much by being strong and how they believe about themselves,
Hmm.
and not just giving into things because a collective does it. And I think it's important
Yeah.
that we should celebrate our individuality of who we are, but also not be on the soapbox of, you can allow people in, you can support people, but to make people feel like they have to instead of they could, I think is tough.
Yeah, yeah. Gonna say you gotta walk the fine line, and you can't grow an ego either. I mean, yeah, you got
No,
to keep everybody because the ego's the worst thing. That's the worst thing in this. One of the worst things in this industry.
it kills a lot of us, and
Yeah,
it kills a lot of creativity. It
I'll
really it
bet.
robs us blind of it. Yeah.
So let's move on to Surrender once again. I believe you're the bright star of this song. You got a great flow with hitting the highs when you were singing. I like the little runs you had. Uh, I just want to know, who are you surrendering to?
So let me just first start off by saying that that song was very challenging vocally.
Oh, I bet that was I couldn't do karaoke on that. I tell you right now.
Yeah, and so there was one thing that I wanted to do in that song was, and I guess it goes from all the songs. I wanted a different flavor for each song, almost like its own individual albums that collectively kind of come together.
Right.
So one of my biggest influences as a singer, as a songwriter, is J.R. Richards from the band Dishwalla, or the phone.
Okay.
He was the original lead singer from there, and I've been lucky enough to talk to J.R. and his wonderful wife Min several times, and they're just very, very amazing, just artsy, creative people.
Yeah.
And J.R. to me, it was J.R. and Freddie Mercury one like
Yeah.
here for vocals for me, and I think a lot of people would benefit from listening to J.R. because his voice just does something different. So I wanted to really branch out and try different stuff, and it was something I'm really proud of. And that song is interesting too because I guess if you listen to it, some people might take that as surrendering a relationship, and the video, there was a lot of image clues and stuff like that. To me,
Right.
it's really about, I think that relationships, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, however you want to put that ship in there,
Right.
I think sometimes they can run their course, and it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. I think that, just because something ends doesn't mean it wasn't beautiful. I think sometimes, people grow apart. I think sometimes people have different ideas where they want to go, the person they want to be. I think that can change over time. And I think if that person can, or you can service that person's life or vice versa in a good way where it allows them to move on and have something that they can look back on that benefits their life as they go forward. Obviously there's always loss. And I think that's kind of the question in the song, is that loss is difficult, but it doesn't have to be bad. Loss can be something where we've both kind of identified that you've done everything you could do, and I've done everything I could do. And sometimes you just need to surrender to the fact that it's just not going to work, and that's okay. And that's really where the song kind of stems from.
Right on. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to World on Fire. I will say today's world does seem like it's on fire today. So, what is just your personal story? Because, everybody listens to the song and we all get our own stories. What's your personal story behind the song? And
Yeah, so World on Fire, I was probably during the mindset when I was writing, even like Storm Drain. It's that influence, that power and influence thing, that is just, I think is really tough, because we give a lot of power and energy to, I think, people that don't deserve it. It was funny. I was talking to my wife about this the other night, and we were talking about how it's really important that we take the energy and the time. That time is a big deal for me. I don't like wasting my time. I like giving my time to people. So I think the more time, more energy that you have to give to the people that deserve it, it's the better. So World on Fire is really about those outside influences of how they change the way we look at things, the way things taste, the way things feel, just by what they're going to get from it or get from us. So that was really how I felt writing that song. It was almost like a level of empowerment. Like, I can see behind the curtain. I can see
Right.
the wizard kind of thing. I know what
Yeah.
you're doing. I know how you're doing it. And I'm going to tell other people, open your eyes, take a look at what's happening, and make your own decisions of what's going to be best for you and your family and your friends. Not what don't run towards the shiny object, because there's usually another reason why it's shiny. So
Right.
World on Fire was very powerful to me. And I hope, people can gravitate towards those lyrics. And it's not, and to me too, it's not a politic thing. It's not a Democrat or a Republican. It's not a Christian thing. It's not it's not
Right.
that. It's people. It's us. It's not what we do, where we go. It's who we are. And, I wanted people to know that you have the power in your life to scroll past that post. You have the power to not have someone in your life that impacts you in a negative way. You empower yourself, but you can also let people in. You can let those things in that rob us of all that time and energy.
Say when I first heard World on Fire, it gave me, I don't know, it gave me adrenaline, but it gave me praise, as like, okay, I'm going through this tough situation right now, but if I just keep trying and keep trying, I can get past this. That's how I took it. And
Yeah.
so I kind of twisted it about, because I'm like, okay, yes, the world's on fire, and it just seems like everything is tossed on its head today, but I just got to switch it around, and I got to keep the positivity and just keep working towards it. And and it was like a motivation for me. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think that's the thing too, is like we allow people, like I said before, to steal our time and steal our energy and steal those things. And I think people should realize that they have a lot more power and control over their lives rather than being manipulated is probably the good word for it, right?
Right.
But I think we do it better collectively than just trying to fight that battle by ourselves or behind a wall. You don't succeed at anything in this life by yourself. At some
Right.
point, you need people to support you. You need people to listen to you. You need people to follow you. And I'm lucky I've had those people in my life, but I hope that I've been that person for other people too. And that to me probably matters most. And it's something I really kind of pay attention to a lot.
Right. Well, it looks like we got some watching us right now. We got Rich. I probably would slaughter that last name if I tried to.
That's my buddy Rich. That's my hype man.
All right. Yeah, he's definitely hyping it up.
One of my closest friends, and he follows me everywhere. He's incredible. Rich and I work together, and he's been a really good friend of mine for a couple of years now. He comes out to all the shows. You can always hear him because he's always loud. I know he's paying attention to it now, but he's always there to support, and I'm eternally grateful for it. And there's so many people that I've been really, really close with that I've followed. So they are definitely my chaos. I'm sure he's going to be there tonight at the show, so I'll be hearing plenty from him. So.
Well, also big old shout out to Jennifer. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, that's my friend Jen. I'm not playing Shibuzi for you tonight.
Oh no.
She's been on me to play Shibuzi for like a year now.
I want to hear it if you do. Thank you, David, for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Thank you, David.
And also Johanna.
I gotta throw out. That's my mom.
Oh, my mom.
She has followed me since way, way, way back. Followed me up to New York City to play shows and everything in between. And she's one of the reasons why I do this and played all those great songs for me. So,
got to give a shout out to Rad Ray from MX the American. Thank you very much, brother, for watching. We appreciate you. Always got to support each other. Even radio and music, it all goes together. Radio supports music. Music got to support the radio, because if you don't support the radio's going to close up. And then where are you at?
Then no one gets to hear it, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, you can, but it's going to be corporations that don't care about you.
Exactly.
And the radio stations care about you because they're doing, especially the internet ones. The internet ones are paying out of their own pocket to do what they got to do.
That's why anytime anyone gives me an opportunity to come on and help you guys out, I make sure I always repost stuff, share it, tag you guys, all those things, because between interviews and online radio and all those things, it's a catalyst to get new viewers and to let people listen to your stuff and build relationships and help each other out. And it's like, if your audience sees my audience, it's just like, it's almost like going to a really good show. And you get
exactly.
To mix that audience, which is great.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
So tell us about you got the upcoming EP, Between the Darkness and the Light. So tell us more about what to expect with that. And you also got another new song yet to come out. So when we're expecting the next new song, which is the last song on the EP.
So the last song on the EP will actually be the title track of the EP itself. So I'm probably shooting for maybe the second week in July to get that out. It might be one of my most favorite songs I've written. It's just got something to it. I don't want to kind of give away because it's very different than the other songs. That's all I'll play. When you hear it, you'll know it within the first 3 seconds of the song.
Oh wow.
But I think there's something about it. There's just a special thing about the song.
You got me on the edge here, and I can't wait. Yes, you're doing it. You're hyping me up. You're like my hype man.
That's years of experience, right? See, I'm learning from Rich being my hype man now, right?
Right on. You rock, Rich.
It's true. But it's, the thing I wanted, I know I said a little bit earlier too, is I wanted each song to kind of stand on its own, but I wanted it to feel collective at the end. And there were a lot of like punch list things that I want to do this in a song, and I want to try this in a song, and I want to do this. Like I said, having that open canvas, and this song kind of has a good majority of that list in it. And I think it services a lot of stuff. The lyrics are really, I don't want to say they're really important to me, but there's something about the lyrics that to me mean a lot. And I hope it means a lot to other people. And that whole thing, between the darkness and the light, to me, it's about that choice, right? It's what really does lie in between. What's the decision? And it was interesting. I had this conversation about somebody, with someone a couple of years ago. We were talking about pure evil and pure good, and what is it really? And I think my personal belief is that I think human beings can only go so far to one side. And I think we have to allow outside influence to take us to those far corners of both of those things.
Okay.
But it's really, we talk a lot about that, right? The pure good and the pure evil, but really what lies in between what that is. And it's a matter of who we are, the choices that we make, the way we are to other people. I think there's a part of a maybe legacy that's in there too, of what's a lasting thing that we can leave for other people to either remember us by, or to affect other people in a way that we really want to, whether it's through music, whether it's through art, whether it's through spoken word, or whether through anything. I think it's important we forget about that kind of gray area, and I think it's really important. And that's really kind of the song isn't necessarily about that, but the album to me kind of encapsulates what that is.
Right on. So, are we expecting the release of the EP and the next single together?
Yes, I'm going to drop them all together at once.
Oh, wow.
And it's, and that's the thing too. It's like, I wanted to do a full album, and I'm like, let's do the 5 and see what's there. But I'm like, we're a singles driven. It's not I'm an album guy, right?
Right.
But the thing with this is, I think if you've heard all the songs, when you can listen to them collectively through, we put time into what comes first, what comes second, what comes third. The run on makes sense of the track listing of it. And I think
the way you did it, coming out with each song before that is exactly what you're supposed to do. I mean, because right now, today, I mean, this ain't the 90s anymore where albums are a big thing. Today, it's all about the singles.
Yeah.
So if you just, you put one out at a time until you get the entire EP or album done, and then you throw the album out there, and everybody's like, oh, well, we can find all these songs in one area. Instead of buying single by single, we can just purchase the album.
You know what I do miss, though? And I will say this, and I'm sure you feel away to a point, but it's like, I miss those albums that, they had 3 singles, and you were like, oh, those songs are great. And I didn't listen to those songs on the album. Like when I put the CD in, and I put whatever it was in, when I listened to it, those weren't my favorite songs. Like even I was having conversations with somebody about the Black Album by Metallica. Absolutely not. None of the songs are on the radio. I mean, yeah, they're great songs. We've heard them a million times. But I mean,
you like the B-sides.
All the other songs, Wolf and Man. I mean, there's so many other, so many of the great songs on albums that those are the ones I put on first. You know? So the singles kind of driven thing, to me, I think the important thing is that you're just staying true to writing good songs. It really comes down to that. Just write a good song. And make sure that you're paying attention to it. Make sure you're not doing something that's feeding your own ego, that's just making sure the song can be as best as it is. And all you can do is take that and put it out to people. And if they like it, great. If they don't, it's the way it goes.
Right. What I miss is I missed CDs, records where I could just open up. And the first thing I would do while I'm listening to the entire album is go through the little booklet and see what everybody's writing about. And stuff. That's what I miss. To me,
100%.
I miss just having music in my hand, because that was my special reward for going out and working all week.
Oh, yeah.
I'd run down to the music shop and get me a record or a CD or even the cassette tape. And, I felt great because I got something in my hand. This is what I worked towards. And, oh, man, this is just awesome. It's like a little, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that just got his golden ticket. Well, this is my golden ticket every week.
And the funny thing about that too is like, it's interesting. Like growing up in the 90s, a lot of times people sounded they had marbles in their mouth when they were singing. So you were singing a lyric that made you think the song was about something completely different. You change like a couple of words, and you're like, oh, I had no idea. So you're reading, like you said, reading the book, and you go, oh, that's what they're saying.
Right.
I mean, how many Pearl Jam songs have I listened to? And I was like, all right, I had no idea. Now, when I sat down and listened, I was like, all right, now I get it. I get what he's saying now.
Right. I had to read the lyrics, so
100%.
But everybody that listens to any song, even back then and today, everybody's gonna, we were discussing this earlier. Everybody's gonna interpret their own story and
And they
relate their
should.
own part of their life into it, and that's what
Yeah.
makes it great.
Right.
So it's maybe one day we should bring the fans on that enjoys the music and find out how does each song affect them and what's the story behind that. See,
Yeah.
there you go. There's an idea for you to create interviews with your fans and find out.
No, that's great, and I think you knock it out of the park with mentioning that. Is that it's really important, and I come from a place, like I said, where I work my regular day job, and I worked in some pretty dark places with some dark stuff, and
Yeah.
I used to always say, a person who's going through something could feel they're most alone at a concert with 30,000 people, and that's so hard to comprehend, but it's real. So I
Yeah.
think as you write, giving someone a reason, giving someone an extra day, or a reason to reach out to somebody else or something like that. You never understand. You can skip the stone, but you don't understand the ripple effect that happens with that. You might not even see it, but to hear about it from people that it affected them that way, there's no greater reason to write music to me, anyways.
I'm gonna say music is my escape. I understand what you're talking about because I suffer through mental illness and PTSD and all that stuff. So I use radio and music as my therapy, and it's everybody that I talk to and I listen and I air. It's your music that helps me. So I'm always saying thank you. And the artist's like, oh no, thank you. I said, no, you don't understand.
Yeah. I've been there. No doubt about it.
Well, I'd like to give a big old shout out to Dangerous Doug. I hope you feel better, brother. I sure do miss you, and I sure hope I'm not doing a bad job today on by myself.
You knocked it out. You got all the hats on. He's knocking it out of the park.
But we sure do. So I gotta ask a question that Mystical Misty would usually ask everybody.
Of course.
Even though she's not here with us, but we're thinking about you, Mystical Misty. Is her question to everybody is, what is your favorite candy bar?
Oh, so I'm not a big sweets person.
Right.
However,
wow.
I don't know if it's a candy bar, but it's not necessarily a candy bar.
Oh, it's okay.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh yeah.
Number
That's
one.
my favorite.
So I have a son he's going to be 19 in August, and I used to tell him all the time, there's a dad tax, man, on Halloween. Listen,
yes,
you bring in all those Reese's, everything else is fine. You bring in the Reese's, everyone stays happy, and we're good.
That's right. I remember driving around my kids, and they're like, "You trying to get into the car?" And I'm like, "You got to pay a fee,
Right. Pay the toll.
We're burning some gas here, so everybody owes me a Reese's peanut butter cup." They're
Absolutely.
like, "Dad."
Oh yeah, he used to just put them aside. Like at some point, he just knew, so we'd come home and he'd just like make a little like pile. Here you go.
So, where are you located?
I'm in the massive state of Rhode Island.
Oh wow, okay. Wow.
Yes, tiny.
So what's the music what's it like in your area for the music for doing music, for the live events and stuff? What's it like out there?
Well, the nice thing about it is I'm sure the people from Texas would feel great about this, is that, you can get across our state in 45 minutes and up and down in an hour and 15.
Oh,
So
well, there you
the
go.
amount of music that you can find everywhere is pretty incredible. Plus, we're really close to Mass, Boston, New York, all that kind of stuff too. So, there's a little bit of everything. We have a really big metal community, which is pretty incredible. I unfortunately, in the kind of music that we play and that I play, we're obviously not a metal band,
Right.
but we always treated really, really well by those communities. We used to play with like Pantera tribute bands, which was amazing. And, I think people who listen, and I love Pantera and I love music like that too, but I think there's people always say, oh, metal fans like metal music. Yeah, but they're music fans. Like they appreciate good music, and we were always treated really, really, really well. And but also I think the nice thing about us too being on the water is there's a lot of opportunities with singer-songwriter stuff too, to be able to go out like I'm going to do tonight and go out and play for a couple of hours with people and play some different kinds of music and really enjoy it and hopefully push people to come and listen to the stuff that I'm writing and there's a lot of that kind of stuff in Rhode Island. I mean, you can go out on a Friday, Saturday night, you can drive around and see a million bands and all different kinds of music and tribute bands and cover bands and singer-songwriters and metal and you name
Right.
it. So we've unfortunately lost a lot of really great music venues, which I know has kind of hit a lot of
Yeah,
states.
yeah, that's what all about, and it's
Yeah.
just unfortunate.
Yeah, but we find ways.
Yeah.
We figure it out, and but it's for being a small state, we're pretty eclectic in terms of the music that we have, and you can definitely find what you're looking for pretty much everywhere. And the nice thing, it takes you 20 minutes to get there, which is
Right. That's fantastic.
beautiful, right?
So you have a live event tonight. Tell us more about that.
I do. So right now I'm doing solo acoustic as we're going into rehearsals with the band, and I'm playing at a place called the Chicken Coop, which is a really, really cool joint. I played there a couple of times now. My buddy Rich, who stopped by a little bit earlier, it's one of his close friends. She owns the place, and the food is just absolutely dynamite. Really cool atmosphere. We have a lot of fun there. So
Right
I'm really
on.
looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Right on. So as we hit a little bit about this subject a little while ago, is there any advice you could give to anybody out there, no matter a fan or an artist that might be going through a hard time and just mentally draining right now? Is there any type of advice that could positively help them right now?
It's hard because I'm one of those artists right now. There's I tell people 9 out of 10 times something that you do in music will take the soul right out of your body. We work and we put in all that time for that 1 out of 10, right? That kind of refills the tank going forward. Um, you know, People say, well, how long are you going to do this for? I'm like, well, when am I going to die?
Right.
I think once it means something to you, as long as it keeps meaning something to you and you keep writing and you can find people's ears, I think you just got to give everything you can if you're doing it for the right reasons. And it's hard because there's a financial aspect of it that's very difficult for a lot of us, but you just got to put in the work. You got to make relationships, make contacts. You're going to need support from other people. But if you're passionate about what you're writing and you want it to affect people, then just get up each day and do a little bit. Because if you're going
Right
forward,
on.
even if it's a little bit, you're not going backwards. And I think
Exactly. I
you
agree.
have to. People don't understand the crash, especially even playing shows.
No.
Like I'll play a show tonight, and you get, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Good show, bad show, you get the endorphin dump, right?
Yep.
Well, tomorrow morning when I wake up and I
That's
don't
when you
have a
think
show,
about it.
it goes. So you
Yeah.
got to find a way, even if it's putting out a little video or putting out a thank you or doing something like this. As long as you're doing a little something each day, you can't just stand still. Not in this business. There's way too many of us, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of good stuff. You need to give people a reason why it's you.
Right on.
Plain and simple.
I agree. And Dangerous Doug, of course, he missed the beginning of the show like normal, but he has a question for you. He wants to know who's one person you can say that made you say, I'm going to be a musician? And I think we covered over this a little bit at the beginning. We could tell he missed it. It's not just one
he comes
person.
in, he drops this gem on me, right?
Right.
This is gonna sound so sappy. Probably my mom.
Oh, that's
But I
not
think
snappy. That's hard.
but it's true because I think that we spent a lot of time together, and she introduced me to a lot of different kinds of music, and always believed in kind of even when I knew I was terrible, but she probably didn't think I was.
I
But
can't imagine you being terrible. But go ahead.
she will tell me straight out. She doesn't hold any punches. If she doesn't like something, she knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say that.
Oh,
But no, and I think that being introduced to music, and my dad too. I mean, they took me to my first concert, but it's just constant introduction to music and have it being constant in my life, and having her drive. Yeah, there she goes. Having her drive up to New York in the winter and watch us play in Albany when it's freezing, and we're gonna play for half an hour, and and stuff like that. And I think that when you feel like it's killing you inside, you think about people that support you that way. And obviously she's one of them. There have been other people in my life, thank God, who've done that. But it's kind of like you don't want to let people down because they believe in what you do. So you need to believe in yourself. So I mean, that was definitely one without a doubt that I can think of right at the top of my head. But I think there were just a lot of artists. There was a lot of music that really made me be like, especially the first time when I played in front of people, I was like, why would I want to do anything else if I can feel that way?
Yeah.
When you're new, though, you don't understand that you're going to feel a lot of other ways that you're not
Yeah.
going to like. It's having thick skin and making sure that you see the end at the end of the street. So
Right. I want to give a shout out to Figo from King Earn. Thank you, Figo, for watching. We appreciate you, brother. So, all right, let's take us now. What's in the future? But I know we got the EP dropping. We got a new song coming out. We got at least one live event. Any more live events coming up after that?
yeah, well, I'm booked. I'm pretty much booked. I think I have booked next weekend, June. I think I have 8 or 9 shows booked in June. Hopefully working up to doing some kind of EP release show kind of thing. But we want to make sure that when rehearsals are up, we get plenty of time to get all this stuff professional and locked down. So we'll do that. Maybe it's when the next album comes out, whatever it is. But at some point we'll be up and rolling with these songs live, which I'm really excited about. I hope people are going to love them. We're going to really put a lot of work into that. But I'm just going to keep playing. So hopefully people keep coming and listening and helping me support and spread the word. And, to me, it's like people always say, well, what do you want to do? What do you ultimately want to do? I'm like, well, I want to sell at Madison Square Garden. And they laugh and I go, why would I want to do anything else? I see people who sell out Red Rocks and sell out the Garden and why would I want to do anything less? So why would I shoot for less? So hopefully I'm going to let the music take me where it wants to and what people want from it. And if they want more, I'll give them more. If they want less, I'll give them more.
There you go. I agree. I say
that
just
easy.
keep giving them more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us where we can find you.
Sure. So the best place to find me for all the good stuff is SALOISofficial.com. That's SALOIS official. So on there, it's where all my live shows are. You can see all the videos on there. You can get all the connects if you're getting stuff through Apple, iTunes, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. And we got some really cool merch that's on there too. So I know we've got a bunch of people who got our swag, including my buddy Rich, who are always wearing it to all the shows, which I appreciate. We got some fun stuff. We got beanies on there. We got zip-up hoodies. We got shirts. We've got you name it on there. So pop on, see if you like some stuff, grab some stuff. Definitely spread the word. If you see stuff on social media, please just hit the share button. Send it off so people that can hear it because you don't know what it's going to do. So,
and Rich, right? I hope I got that right. Rich,
yes,
that's the hype man. I hope you do just one song and put it on social media, so we can share it about. Just tag me, tag the Rock Dog, Doug, tag Dangerous Doug. It don't matter. Tag us so we can share it about. So we'd love to see you perform live tonight, at least just one song, and then tell them to get their butts down here to the chicken coop and they can see the rest of the show. But
right,
I definitely hope to see that tonight. So Rich, that's what you got to do, buddy. You got to give us one live video tonight.
He's the hype man. He's got homework now.
That's right. All right. Well, besides your band, could you name somebody else that you believe that we should interview or air their music on Wild Dawgs Radio?
Ooh. Wow. Well, I'll give a shout out to some friends of mine. Their album just came out. They actually have the album release show tonight in New Jersey. They're a band called Dead Fish Handshake. Wow. Yes.
That's an interesting name.
Really cool guys. I got a chance to play with them several times. I just saw this singer, Matt, a couple of weeks ago at one of my shows. I was actually talking to Rob, their guitar player, kind of sending them some best wishes in the show tonight. But they've worked with some really great people. They did some work with Clinton Lowry from Seven Dust. Really good guys. They've been around for a while and they put out some really good stuff. So definitely sending out some best wishes to those boys tonight at their the album release show. And if you get a chance, I'll send you a link so you can check out some of their stuff too.
Oh yes, definitely want to check them out. Any final words you'd like to say? I'm just opening up the mic. Anything you just want to get out there and just say, or any shout outs or anything? It's all yours.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you for the time and especially everyone at the station for playing all my stuff. And it's really, this place is really about relationships, right? And we helping each other out, which is a great thing. So I'll definitely be helping you guys out and supporting you guys. And just thank you to everyone who tuned in. I know people get sick of hearing me, but they're stuck with me, so they can't. But
well, I'm glad we're stuck with you because you were just awesome. I love your vocals. That's the first thing that caught my attention in all your songs is the vocals, because it flows and I feel every song. Every song you've done so far, I felt. and that's big. If you can't connect to a song, then you're just like out in nowhere land, and all you're doing is hearing it. But when you can actually feel it, you're listening, and then there's a difference between hearing and listening, and it's all got to do with the feeling.
They say you can listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear Jimmy.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Chris Rock was on to something there.
It's very true, right? But no, it's I'm very thankful for a lot of the support of my family, all my friends. It's a very difficult thing to navigate, and there's a lot of good times and there's a lot of tough times, but it's really, I love what I do. I love creating music, and I'm really glad that it's impacted people such as yourself. And I'm going to keep working to put out good stuff. I'm actually in the studio right now working on album number 2. I go back and I finish the first song this Wednesday.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I feel like a little kid that's waiting for the Cracker Jack box.
Early Christmas, man.
Little Christmas. Yeah, a little present in the box. I'm just getting all giddy. Well, thank you, Seth, for coming on board and being a part of the Dangerous Dog show right here. And hopefully next time we can get Dangerous Doug to actually join us. Man. Yeah. So thank you to everybody for watching. Rich, good luck tonight. We're going to be looking for that video.
Do your homework.
That's right. Thank you, Seth, so much.
All right, my friend. Take care.